And on top of it, I'm muted. I said, I'm late. I am late. I will be late for my own funeral, and that is probably a good thing. Welcome to Dear Dana. I have been running around. I said I'm like a china in a bull shop, and I meant like a bull in a china shop, knocking everything down. It has been one of those. We have been really warm in Georgia. We have rainstorms, and it gets cold. Thank you, JC Bear. Y'all was muted. It gets cold. It gets warm. It gets cold. My body does not adjust well to that kind of thing. I have temperature control problems enough as it is. It does not adjust well. But here we are. Week I don't know what of. The Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard trial. And it's getting hot. It's cooking. It's getting hot in here. Let's take off all our clothes. Hey, paranormal. No worries. How is your little boy? But yes, it is starting to cook. Starting to cook in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. She's got like an hour and some odd few minutes left for them to even speak in there. She will not be speaking anymore in there, but her attorneys have like an hour and something to fight. I believe Johnny's attorneys have like 8 hours and something. Tick tock, tick tock. And today, Johnny spoke again. And they brought back Dr. Curry, the psychologist that initially did the very good testing on Amber, the testing you cannot trick. I was calling her Dr. Duffy today for whatever reason. And listen, TMZ lost fighting their ex-employee from going up on stand. But he did not name his source. He did everything but name his source. But it was pointing the finger to the fact that they did not have to scramble to get permission to use the pictures or the videos or go to the places to be ready for the shots. Nope, they were ready and waiting ahead of the time. They were giving the tea and the deets ahead of time, ready and waiting. Anywhere she would land in a plane, that she was coming out of a courthouse, that she was coming out of deposition, even when she was coming out of getting the TRO, and to make sure that she was going to turn and pose to get the shot of the right cheek. Yes. And let me tell you, they even had someone that is a specialist, not the right word, someone that has 40 years experience that the feds and the police and other people that need metadata for photos to see if they've been tampered with, etc., go to. Yes, sirree. They surely did. But we're going to break some of that down. And we're going to have prayer time for the families and the children of Texas as well. But before I go further with that, and we're waiting for a few people to trickle in, let me drop my intro. Let me go ahead and drop that. Here we go. Before I forget. Oh, yeah. All right. Welcome to Dear Dana, where your vibe attracts your tribe. That is right, and that is so, so true. But we are reviewing, and we'll play a little bit of clips here and there from, if you didn't see it, from the trial today. It is winding down, and as exciting as it is, and as much as I want there to be justice, let me say that. As much as I want there to be justice, I want the world to realize that intimate partner V can go both ways for men or women. And although most people should be believed, there are going to be some people that take advantage of that just to do not so nice things to other people. There are going to be those few people that are trying to cry wolf to take advantage of people. You know what I mean? And males or females or LGBTQIA plus, anybody along the spectrum can be harmed by their partner. It doesn't always have to be a female. So I'm hoping that this sets precedent, because in my heart and as a professional, I do believe that she sort of targeted people, Johnny being one, to take advantage to climb the Hollywood ladder, and has been seeking fame and fortune all along the way, because it has been proven, and as I suspected, she was cheating on him right out of the gate. Right out of the gate. And has been Hollywood hopping. And I guess you could throw Elon in that too, because he networks and he's the richest man in the world, right? She has probably thought, with his networking all over the world, I could get the fame that way too. And hello out in the bushes, I see you, and I appreciate you. I'm hoping that you feel safe and comfortable enough to join us and chat one day soon. I do. But be that as it may, it needs to set precedent. And eyes need to be more on this kind of destruction in relationships. Eyes need to be more on mental health, period. I want love and prayers and healing to go out to all the families, all the children that experienced the harm that has recently happened to the children in the elementary schools in Texas. It is horrific, and something needs to be done. This is happening too often. Some kind of legislation, some kind of plan, something needs to be done. It was mindless. And those sweet, sweet babies and those families, those parents, those parents will never be the same again. They will never be the same again. The little kids that experienced it and survived it, they will never be the same again. They will never be the same again. There is a lot going on in the world, but if our country does not become aware and make some kind of change, and if we as parents and families don't start screaming from the rafters, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. And harboring our children at home, it's not going to fix it. I mean, it might fix it because they're not going to school, real school. Something's got to be done now. So if we can take a moment of silence of prayer for those families. And maybe if all of us put our heads together and start trying to change things, come up with something, go to our legislation, it's just horrific. Thank you. But mental health has to be a priority as well. That is not normal. That's one of the keys. Our country needs to put a big light and make that a priority. Make that a priority. Our love to Texas, but mental health has to be a priority. It shall not be so difficult with insurance and everything. They make insurance difficult. Wealthy people can get it. People that are poverty level can often get help. Everyone in between, not so much. And that's the truth. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have insurance. I've struggled to get it through the government programs where they say it can be broken down to fit what you make. That's not true. That's not true. And in my husband's company, they let so many people go during the pandemic that in order for our family to afford it, we would have to pay $1,600 a month out of pocket. So, and, I have MS, so every time I pay for medications, either have to write the company to see if they can help, or everything else comes out of my pocket. Doctor's appointments, medication, and trust. So, it's not easy. Trust. It's not easy. So, mental health, they need to do more about insurance. They need to focus on mental health all across the board for people to get it, to be able to go talk to somebody about everyday stress that they're dealing with in their life, to recognize when their teenagers have issues. Everyone needs to be able to access mental health, period. Just to have somebody to go to when they're dealing with all kinds of issues, period. Just like you go to the dentist, just like you go to the doctor. And quit making it a stigma. What happened was not normal. And maybe he or she had more deep-seated issues or anger or whatever. I don't know yet. But it was not normal. And I'm not giving the shooter an out. Do not get me wrong. And it was senseless and needless, and my heart is completely broken about all of those babies. And if anyone knows the pain of child loss, I know that. So anyway, prayers and love to all the losses of Texas. And if I can figure out something that we can do, I will. I was thinking about it today. We know that their communities have to be doing something. So we need to just figure out where the gaps are. So anyway, on to Johnny and Amber and the case. It should be winding up this week. possibly tomorrow, because they usually don't have court on Friday. It will go out to the jury. They may give the jury an extended weekend. It could take 2 to 3 days for the jury to figure this thing out. The jury has to be unanimous. JC Bear, funds, did you say funds or faints? Faints. The jury has to have a unanimous decision. A unanimous decision. If they don't have a unanimous decision, the judge will encourage it. They can either go for both sides. They can go for both sides and say it's split. They can be deadlocked. The judge will send them back, or they can vote one or the other. I'm hoping they vote for Johnny. Because this ends on Johnny Depp's daughter's birthday. Anywho, today was something. Amber's team was getting really wound up, especially Elaine, if any of you watch it. Especially Elaine. Kate Moss did testify today. His former girlfriend from years ago, who Amber kept saying, all I could think about was when Johnny pushed her down the stairs. That's why I was protecting my sister. I will play some of Kate Moss today. She testified, but she only testified about the rumor of being pushed down the stairs. I was hoping she would say more. To be honest, I was hoping she would say more. Dr. Duffy disputed about how that, a psychologist on their team was saying, oh, she's not borderline personality. But she pretty much proved that she is. That was quite a long testimony, but, they couldn't get around it. They couldn't drive her down. Hold on a second. But she let him have it. She was good. Let me see if I can pull up Kate Moss. Some of you may not know of or remember Kate Moss. I know JC Bear probably does. I'm trying to pull her up now. Come on, Dana. There's so many people I couldn't queue them all up. So oh no. But it was quite exciting. Gracious. I think they went straight in with Kate Moss. But they had to start talking to the judge almost immediately. I hate this. I had her. I lost her. Not good. But you could very well tell that Amber did not like seeing Johnny's old love. She especially didn't like the fact that after she had lied so many times on stand and made up the horrific story about Kate Moss, that wasn't so good. Because Johnny had confided, well, not so much confided, but had told Amber about the story of Kate Moss way back when. And Amber decided to twist and turn the story for her own benefit during court time, during the UK and during the United States trial, to turn it ugly. Why she would decide to do that? We all know why. I don't think she ever thought Kate Moss would actually come forth and testify because it had been so many years. But anyway, I'm going to share it with you. Hey, Ann Coleman, here we go. Are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, why isn't it letting me share? Share audio. Wait. Let's cancel. Let's try again. Oh, unless it's trademarking it. Won't let me. Should though. Share screen. Select a tab. Okay, here we go. Okay, why can't... Oh, there we go. It's about to...
Are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, please be seated. Next witness.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Depp calls Kate Moss to the stand. She will be appearing on your screen.
All right, ma'am, can you hear me? Yes, can you count to 5 for me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you, ma'am. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Moss, or I should say good afternoon, your time. My name is Ben Chu from the firm of Brown Rudnick. Would you please state your full name for the record?
Kate Moss.
Ms. Moss, where do you reside?
London, England.
From where are you testifying today, Ms. Moss?
Gloucestershire, England.
Ms. Moss, do you know Johnny Depp?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Mr. Depp?
I had a relationship with him.
Did there come a time when you and Mr. Depp had a romantic relationship?
Yes.
For how long, Ms. Moss, were you and Mr. Depp a romantic couple?
From 1993 to 1994 to 1998.
Ms. Moss, did there come a time when you, while you and Mr. Depp were a couple, that the two of you took a vacation together to the Golden Eye Resort in Jamaica?
Yes.
What, if anything, happened when you were in Jamaica with Mr. Depp?
We were leaving the room and Johnny left the room before I did. and there had been a rainstorm. And as I left the room, I slid down the stairs and I hurt my back.
How did you?
And
I apologize, Ms. Moss. Please continue.
and I screamed because I was in because I didn't know what had happened to me and I was in pain. And he came running back to help me and carried me to my room and got me medical attention.
Did Mr. Depp push you in any way down the stairs?
No,
During the course of your relationship, did he ever push you down any stairs?
no, he never pushed me, kicked me, or threw me down any stairs.
Ms. Moss, have you ever before today testified in any kind of court proceeding?
No, I have never.
Why did you decide to testify today?
Objection, Your Honor.
All right.
That's beyond the scope of what we just talked about.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Ms. Moss. We have nothing further at this time. We greatly appreciate your taking the time to testify.
All right, any cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you, Ms. Moss.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, your next witness.
Your Honor, we're calling Dr. Shannon Curry.
Just give us a moment to move the TV.
Okay. What did you think about that? What did you think about Miss Kate? They should have let her say why she came forward today. Because she would have said, because I care about Johnny, because he was one of the greatest loves of my life. They didn't want her to say that, right? The opposing team. She was honest and sincere. And you could tell Amber didn't like seeing her. For many reasons. She didn't like her telling the truth. She's a supermodel. She's famous. She was one of Johnny's past loves. And she blew Amber's lies right out of the water. Oh yeah, the Queen, Dr. Curry. The Queen, Dr. Curry. She was throwing all of her data out there. Did you see Dr. Curry, Anne? Who saw Dr. Curry? She threw it out there, and she could not be eviscerated by Amber's team, as hard as they tried. I love it when Amber's team starts throwing out all of the psychological tests and data, trying to trip Dr. Curry up, and they can't. They can't do it. They can't do it. Now, Johnny's testimony. When he starts testifying and they go towards the end of his testimony. Let's get a little taste of Dr. Curry. We can get a little taste of Dr. Curry for those who did not see her. Or those who did not see her. For those that did not get to see Dr. Curry or are not familiar with her, we will give them a little taste of her.
Have my notes. And you administered a structured clinical interview.
This is Amber's team trying to eviscerate her, take her down after she's already proven again that Amber's psychologist was a wackadoo. They're trying to tear apart her discussion of what Amber's psychologist skipped and did not properly use.
Based on that trauma, correct?
Not exactly. It's not quite right.
Okay. Now, Dr. Hughes administered a full intimate partner violence assessment, correct?
That's not a psychological assessment. We can't assess for intimate partner violence. That's an event.
Dr. Hughes administered a full intimate partner violence assessment,
She
correct?
stated that, and that's actually something I'm rebutting today.
Okay, and you reviewed her psychological testing?
I sure did, yes.
Okay, and are you aware that in September 2019, Ms. Heard had a trauma-based symptom on many of those valid tests?
Can you be a little bit more specific? Many of those valid tests, which tests are you talking about?
Do you have a recollection of that, September 2019?
She administered all of her testing in September 2019, so I'm not sure which one, except for the CAPS-5, which was 10 days after mine in 2021.
Now, Dr. Hughes clinically evaluated those symptoms and established that Ms. Heard does have PTSD from the totality of the intimate partner violence by Mr. Depp, correct?
That's what she stated, yes.
Okay. Now, Dr. Anderson's clinical notes that said Amber had come to
Objection, hearsay.
I haven't even asked the question yet, Your Honor.
Are you going to read her notes?
Well, no, actually, I wasn't going to read her notes. I was
Okay.
going to ask a particular question.
Okay.
You talked about danger. Do you recall that in your testimony?
Yes.
All right. Now, if a patient comes to you as a couples therapist
Mhm.
with two black eyes, would you assess that there may be a potential danger there?
Sure.
Okay. Did you read Dr. Anderson's notes?
I believe I did.
Now, you administered the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory 2, the MMPI-2. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you used that to determine whether Amber had PTSD, right?
Not by itself, but it was a part of the data.
Okay. And in the 60 to 70 T-score range for that test, which, quote, deliberate attempts to mislead are uncommon, end quote. Isn't that correct?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
In the T-score section of that, for which assesses deliberate attempts to mislead, do you recall? She scored a 60 on that test, correct?
So there are multiple T-scores for each scale, so I'm not sure which scale you're talking about.
Okay. Well, we can deal with that later. So you agree that you need to follow ethics and best practices in forensic psychology, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the two primary sources are the American Psychological Association Ethical Principles and Professional Code of Conduct, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the American Psychological Association's Specialty Guidelines for Forensic Psychology, correct?
Yes.
And Specialty Guidelines 1.02 states that forensic practitioners, quote, strive for accuracy, impartiality, fairness, and independence, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Specialty Guidelines 1.03 states that you have to avoid a conflict of interest, correct?
Yes.
Now, in addition to not listing the 4 hours you spent with Mr. Depp, Mr. Waldman, Mr. Chu, and Ms. Vasquez, you also did not list that you spent an hour with Dr. Shah, correct?
That's incorrect.
You say that the designation said that you spent
During
an
my
hour-
deposition, I also clarified this. I didn't spend an hour with Dr. Shah. There was an introduction with the attorneys present on Zoom. My time on that call was less than 30 minutes.
But you still didn't disclose it, did you, in your reports?
No.
Okay. Now, you have not been asked to testify about Ms. Heard's behavior in the context of her relationship with Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
I was asked to testify about somebody's behavioral mental status in general, so that can include behavior involved in a relationship with Mr. Depp, but not specifically.
Can you pull up day 10 of the trial testimony at page 2710? 2710, lines 12 through 18.
May we approach?
All right. All right.
Thank you, Michelle. Great job. Okay, does the witness also have, okay.
Yep.
So, Dr. Curry, this is your testimony from day 10 in this case, and if you can look at page 2710, line 13. Now, my question was, now is it your testimony under oath today that you have not been asked to testify concerning Ms. Heard's behavior in the context of her relationship with Mr. Depp, including any abuse? And your answer under oath to this jury that day was, that's correct.
Yes.
Correct?
I still agree with that question.
All right. And you have not made any determinations, including any opinions, that Ms. Heard abused Mr. Depp or Mr. Depp abused Ms. Heard, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And in fact, you said that's outside the scope.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Of psychology.
And you cannot testify whether Amber Heard suffered any emotional distress as a result of any of the defamatory comments that she has alleged Mr. Waldman made through Mr. Depp, or Mr. Depp made through Mr. Waldman, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
Do you want me to read my response?
What's the
Sure.
objection? I'm sorry. Hold on, Dr.
Sorry,
Curry.
Your Honor.
That's okay. What's the objection? Your own approach? Okay.
Now, you have not rendered any opinion as to whether Amber Heard exhibits patterns of behavior that would suggest her allegations of abuse against Mr. Depp are false. Would you agree?
No. I mean, yes, I would agree with that.
Thank you. And you have not, no, that's right. That's all I've got. No.
But anyway, you get the point. They were trying to rip her apart. Can't do it. Can't do it. But then here we go. It goes further on. Hello, Madeline. I think they're going to hurt themselves or someone else is required by law. If you're going to hurt yourself or another, typically you have to be committed for 72 hours or longer when you're a therapist, because I'm a therapist. So if you're going to hurt yourself or you're going to hurt another person, it has to be reported, or I would have to have you put in the local mental health facility to be observed and decide what kind of treatment would need to be decided upon. That's what would have to happen. Because you're not allowed to hurt yourself or another, to put your life in danger or someone else's. And welcome, Madeline. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that would be the scope of the decision of someone's behavior. But it's so interesting with attorneys and all the information and testing that they get. It's like they fight your fight based on what information they think they should share. So you never really get 100% of all the information on both sides. They're tricky and precarious on what gets to be seen. Thank you. Meadow. Okay, Madeline, are you the meadow that knows my Eden? So anyway, but from what I understand, Johnny turned in all his devices as everything. Amber did not. She did not turn in all her devices. She withheld them. So they didn't get her cell phones and all of that stuff. What was really funny today is when the attorney from TMZ, thank you so much, tried to come in during lunchtime and fight not allowing the ex-employee to come in and testify. But that didn't work. That did not work. And I loved it, but I'm not going to show the fight. But I do want to show the moment of him. It was great. The moment of him coming in to testify. It wasn't long, but it was pretty great, especially when he went on Amber's female attorney. What I don't like to watch it on television because they don't show everything. They do not show everything on television. They edit too much of it. I do not like that. I want to know everything. I'm nosy like that. I believe in justice. I believe in truth. So anyway, here is the ex-employee from TMZ. You're gonna like this. If it lasts too long, I'll skip some of it. But he goes in on Elaine, Amber's attorney, and it's meme worthy. It's Twitter worthy. You're probably going to see it all over the place. If I knew how to make a good meme, I would. I'm too old for that. Maybe not. I'm 103. What are you going to say? But anyway, I'm going to share this. But look, he does save journalism by not directly giving Amber alert, Amber's name. Because, you're not supposed to divulge your sources. Because, that's the basis of journalism. If someone is your source, they trust you that you're not going to say their name. When they leak stuff, But we all know Amber leaked crap. But anyway, they let this guy testify. He didn't say Amber's name. But we all know. We know the truth. We know the truth. So, but you can read between the lines if you're smart. You can read between the lines. So here we go. Here we go. Let me share with you. You'll find it interesting. If you haven't seen, you will find it interesting. And before I share this, because I forget, please like, subscribe. Above all, subscribe. I've got like 50% of the watchers are from all over the world. And you're forgetting to boop and smash that like and subscribe button. Please, please, it gets eyes on this channel. So please like and subscribe. It means so much. But anyway, let's see this. Here we go.
Of 2016?
Of 2016, yes.
Can you describe to the jury how you received the video on August 12, 2016?
Yes, the video was sent in through our email tip line, which is an email distribution that goes to all the producers and to myself as the field assignment manager, because it often included celebrity locations. It came in as I recall,
Objection, hearsay.
He's just describing how it came in.
I think he's about to reveal hearsay, Your Honor.
I'll overrule for now. We'll see where it goes.
Please continue.
So I received that email, and it included a link from some unknown Dropbox type public website in which it contained that
Objection,
video.
Your Honor, hearsay. He's
Hear
about
it.
to describe what comes from the Dropbox.
He made an eyebrow amber.
So far, he just said what's a link from the Dropbox. We'll see the next question. Go ahead, next question.
He made an
So
eyebrow
you received
amber.
a link. What was in that link?
In that link was the video of Johnny Depp smashing the cabinets.
And you received this video in your inbox, correct?
I did.
What did you do once you received that video?
We downloaded it. We alerted the web editor who was sitting next to me at the time. We downloaded it, and then were instructed by the news producer to do what we call slap bumpers and a bug on it, which is putting the dun 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 at the beginning end, and then putting a translucent watermark over it, which indicates copyright ownership.
After you did that, was it posted?
It was posted, yes.
Where was it posted?
It was posted to TMZ.com.
Did you do anything else related to Amber Heard on August 12, 2016?
Yes, I received a tip that Amber Heard would be arriving at LAX, and so I dispatched camera people to film that exit, or her arrival to LAX, rather.
And why did you do that?
I was instructed to.
How long does it take to post a story after media's been received by TMZ?
After media's been received, it could take any length of time depending on who owns the copyright.
How does TMZ obtain copyright over images and videos?
The only way to obtain copyright over media would be if we shot it ourselves, if it was sent to the tip line, source verified that it was from the original copyright owner, and then either purchased from that person or given to us. And then the third option would be if it was directly given to us by the copyright holder, like a direct source.
And how long does it take to copyright something TMZ has received through the tip line?
It can take a while because you have to extensively verify that that person owns the copyright. And then possibly, it depends also if you can even get in contact with the person, because they might not be super responsive immediately via phone or email that they provided. And then potentially you'd have to enter a negotiation with our clips and clearances department to figure out the cost of that media.
How long does it take for TMZ to obtain a copyright over something received directly from a source?
Something in the realm of 15 minutes just to do what I described before, which is putting bumpers and a bug on something and write the article and post it. It's pretty fast.
How much time had passed from the time you received the kitchen cabinet video to the time it was posted on TMZ?
About 15 minutes.
Did any other tabloids other than TMZ post this video?
Objection
No, they-
leading and calls for hearsay.
Did any other tabloids?
Overruled.
Mr. Tremaine, go ahead.
No, they did not.
And why not?
Because it was a TMZ exclusive.
And what does that mean?
It means that TMZ owns the copyright to it. So it can't be distributed by any other media source without backlinking to TMZ, and they wouldn't be able to upload that media without getting a copyright strike.
Have you seen the kitchen cabinet video that was played in this trial?
I have, yes.
How does that video that was played in this trial compare to the one you received on August 12, 2016?
When I had clicked the direct link that we received and watched the video in its entirety, it was much shorter than the video we had received, than the video that's been played in this trial. There was a bit at the beginning that was played here in which Ms. Heard is seemingly sort of setting up the camera and getting into position. And then there's a bit at the end where she's seemingly snickering and looks at the camera. That part was not present in what we received.
Did TMZ edit the video?
No, not even a little. When we receive something and it's edited, there's a clear indicator because there's sort of a journalistic practice that uses when there's an edit, you do what's called like a white flash transition, which covers the entire screen with white to very clearly indicate to everybody there was an edit here for time or whatever, just to make it a little more compelling. But in this case, it was not edited as I was staring at the machine that edited it and present for the entirety of receipt to publishing.
When was the next time you worked on an assignment related to Amber Heard?
It was, well, there was the time where we went to the airport. And then the day after that, because she had flown in for the deposition, because I think the first time didn't work out. So she was arriving again for the deposition in that same parking lot adjacent to a law office.
And what's that, August 13th, 2016?
That was August 13th, yeah.
And what was your assignment on August 13th, 2016?
To dispatch camera people to that parking lot at a specific time in order to film Amber Heard arriving for the deposition.
How did you know that tip was legitimate?
It came from a news producer.
While you worked at TMZ, did you ever receive any communications from Mr. Depp or his camp?
I did not.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Yes. So how do you know what video was shown at this trial?
I was alerted by a friend that that TMZ was being kind of talked about in this trial, and so I had seen a clip of that.
So you watched some of this trial?
Correct.
Okay. When did you first reach out to counsel for Mr. Depp?
I believe that was 6 days ago, whatever that date would be. I'd have to do that.
All right. And then you received a subpoena, I think yesterday, in care of your attorney, Cindy Hickox, right?
Correct.
Okay. And Cindy Hickox represents Christy Dombrowski, Kate James, Robin Baum.
Objection,
and Debbie
Your Honor.
Lloyd. Were you aware
Calls
of
for
that?
speculation.
Overruled.
Were you aware of that?
No.
Now, if you don't have information that's helpful to this case, then you wouldn't be a witness, correct?
Objection. Calls for
can't.
speculation.
Sustained. Sustained. Next question.
I'm not aware.
Okay, you know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't it?
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
I can ask that question.
Overruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in the target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
A little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr. Depp's attorneys were well aware of the TRO that was going to be presented on May 27th?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Were you aware of that?
Lack of foundation.
Overruled if you can answer it.
Can you restate the question?
Were you aware that Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys were aware that Amber Heard was going in to seek a TRO on May 27th?
I don't think I understand the question. I don't think so, no.
Okay.
It's
Do
kind of a
you
complicated
know whether Blair Burke, one of Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys, had a very close relationship with TMZ at that time?
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled. If he knows.
I was not aware of that.
Okay. And when you said that you were dispatched twice, once to film Amber in a parking lot for the deposition, and then it didn't work out, and so you had to do it another time, how did you know it didn't work out?
Because TMZ.com posted an article saying as much.
Okay.
And I was not dispatched.
Do you know
I worked in the office.
why the deposition did not work out?
I'd have to reference the article, I forget.
So do you know?
I didn't write that story. I wasn't involved in the actual
Do you know
journalism of that.
which side? Do you know which side would have known or not known whether that deposition was going to work out? In other words, the people representing Mr. Depp or the people representing Ms. Heard?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. And then the video clip. You don't know who provided that, correct?
Correct. Not testifying to
I
that.
have no further.
All right, redirect.
Mr. Tremaine, why did you contact me in relation to this case?
I saw that there was a discrepancy with like the video that was shown here and the video that I know I'd received. So I had no interest in testifying. I had reached out simply to maybe try to help with the timeline of things or help with the case in any way, just by virtue of understanding the timeline of the stories that were published and kind of how that can be unclear. But I had no idea I'd be on the stand.
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, sir, you're free to go.
Thank
Thank you. All right.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that? Yes, he definitely has a great team. What do you mean about Johnny's face, Madeline? I think he was shocked. His attorney Elaine, I mean, they have 3 or 4 attorneys a piece, maybe 4. She's awful. Awful, awful, awful. I mean, nobody can hardly deal with her whatsoever. She was going in hard, and everybody that she was going on in today, because they came in prepared, all the people that were testifying, and they had documents to prove their points. But to her, everybody was going in for their 15 minutes of fame. But what was really cool, I know, right? But Amber Heard, I don't know if you heard, she had a partner, actually a wife, when she met Johnny. Now look, in my opinion, she targets men in Hollywood. She studies up on them. She targets them. She goes after them to climb the Hollywood ladder. She goes after famous men to become more famous, and men with money. I think she prefers women, but she targets men because she is better at seducing them. She's better at getting what she wants. And Coleman says at the end of the day, Johnny's team left Amber's rattled and was on the phone already pacing. Yeah, because her team only has like an hour and something. But she was married to is it Tessa Van Ray, the artist? And she had a BUSC. We can't say that on YouTube. And Tessa still takes up for her, which she really shouldn't. But the officer, the arresting officer back in 2009, arrested her, took her to jail. She had her day in court, and they released her. But Amber tried to accuse her of being homophobic, and misogynistic and all this other stuff. Well, come to find out, the officer wasn't homophobic because she also had a female partner. So Amber was just making this stuff up, just trying to say that she was arrested for the wrong reasons. Okay? Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. Johnny's team brought her as a witness, but they would let her give her official name, but would not say, I was the arresting officer. But it may be because Amber got her ex-wife to backpedal, saying, oh, it wasn't that bad. She had her to lie a year or two ago. And she was a victim of Amber's. So I don't know why she wouldn't stand up and tell the truth when it is in records, because they had already warned her, Amber, that they were letting her go, but if she ever committed this again, that they could bring it back out. Maybe that's one reason her ex-wife is protecting her. I don't know. I don't understand it. So take a look at this. If you haven't seen it, take a look at this. Some people were confused, not understanding that this was actually the officer. Now, they did have a photo expert today that did metadata to prove a lot of Amber's photos were tampered with today. But it was kind of long, so I'm probably not going to pull that up. But he was on there proving that some of her photos were tampered with. Anyway, here is the officer that arrested Amber years ago, describing some of what went on at the airport when she arrested her. Oops. And reports were it was a lot worse than this, so I don't know why they won't let her completely, fully detail it. Oops, spinning. Don't spin. Don't spin. I'm trying to cue it up. It's so hard to cue it up when there's so many people testifying. But here is the officer. Amber is very immature. Johnny was too old and too wise for her. He has a soft heart from his childhood. I completely agree. But as I have talked about on the channel before, when you have unresolved issues from your childhood, I said Santivia, Johnny's side disproved and discredited a lot of Amber's evidence and testimony over the past 2 days. That is so right. Let's hope the jury has caught on to a lot of it, because they're not supposed to, mind you, but they're not seeing a lot of what we're seeing online. But again, as I've told you before, if you've had a lot of trauma in your life that has been unresolved, that you haven't gotten therapy for, that you haven't resolved, haven't worked out, etc., you will attract people in your life unconsciously. You will attract them in your life in order to work out old issues. That's why a lot of people will go, why do I keep attracting the same kind of people in my life? I don't understand. That is exactly why. Because you're harboring old wounds, old traumas in yourself that you haven't worked out, that you haven't taken the time to work on yourself. You move on relationship to relationship and do not work on yourself. So you attract the same kind of people, not realizing it. It's not so much like attracts like. is you've got old wounds and old traumas in you. And when you don't work on yourself and you don't work on these traumas, you will attract people in your life so you can work out the old traumas again and again and again. Let's say that you grew up and you had a very abuse mother or father, and you did not work out that pain or that abuse, or you did not work out that bad relationship that you had. Or like Johnny Depp had that trauma from his mom, had that trauma from his mama. He never went to therapy for it, right? He carried it with him. So what did he ultimately do? He was way heavily drawn to her. He ended up being attracted to that, and he could have been attracted to friendships like that in the past, but he was attracted to her like a hot, fiery magnet and left Vanessa. But he was attracted like a hot, fiery magnet. And she ended up reminding him of his mother. And one of his sisters apparently had similar issues, not the one that worked for him, because he said it in a statement somewhere. So it was unresolved issues he had with his mom. And that's why he's probably self-medicated all these years. No, it's not probably, it is. Because he never got the help he really needed for this. If he had early on, his life would have been vastly different insofar as self-medicating. It would have been. So when you work on healing these wounds, you don't attract the same kind of broken people and repeat these patterns. You break out of it and end up in healthier relationships, or you don't self-medicate with food or alcohol or drugs or overspending or whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? It's whatever our addiction is. It's whatever we use to try to fill that hole, to ease that pain, to quiet that noise. It depends on the person. It's what I've said before, know thyself. Know thyself. I have to work on myself all the time. Even at this age, 103, I have to work on myself. It's a daily thing. It's like I tell my daughter, I'm not perfect. I have to work on myself every day. I mean, there's been times that with her, I've had to realize when I've made a mistake, or I've had to say I'm sorry to her or my husband, or I'm looking to better myself, right? No one is perfect. It is necessary for us all to work on ourselves constantly. It's necessary. And I've said this before too, short of a newborn baby, or a person that, like my son who couldn't walk, he couldn't leave and get in trouble because he couldn't, right? Short of someone that has no choice but to depend on others, short of a newborn baby, right? There is not one person on this earth that doesn't have some degree of mental health issue. Not one person. Everybody's experienced anxiety, depression, being stuck, sad, blue at some point in your life. It's just going to happen. I'm so very sorry, Ann Coleman. My heart is with you. I'm so very sorry. I am. But, it's like I said, we have to find ways to work on ourselves and allow ourselves to look at our shadow self and our light self. You look at your shadow self, you dig it out, and you look at it. And that's how you heal your wounds. And so much of our good is in our shadow self too. And you learn how to resonate higher. And that's why I say your vibe attracts your tribe. The higher you resonate, the more comes into your life. Good, Ann. Good, good, good. And you do things to help you resonate higher each day. It's an ebb and a flow. It's an ebb and a flow. And that's part of why I created this community, because everyone has a voice in here. And I open it up to say, comment below if there's certain things you want to speak about in here. Right? If there's certain, and I open the chat a lot, or I let people come up. Right now we're talking about Johnny Depp. I didn't drop the link for people to come up. I'd like to have, drop the link and have a panel of people come up. Have a panel of people if you're not scared. I used to be scared. But, we talk about a multitude of things in here. It's a no hate zone. I won't allow it. I will not allow it. So we talk about psychological, spiritual, social commentary. Right now I just got attached to the Depp and Amber trial because it's more than a sensationalistic story. It's about the switch flipping. Everybody thinks it's just about, well, it only happens to women. Well, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't just happen to women. It happens to everybody. Oh, I figured it out, Aiden. It happens to everyone. It's just a narrative that it happens to women. Mostly it typically happens to women, but it happens to everybody. Men, women, boys, girls, LGBTQIA, and every alphabet up and down. It happens to everybody. But if we let Amber Heard use this just for fame and glory by creating this story, this narrative, to use Me Too for her, just for her fame, we're making a big mistake. And she has ruined a life in the interim. And it is a crime. It is a crime. So we need to open up the narrative that happens to everybody. We need to see justice occur. And we need to take down people that use it like this. This is why I'm passionate about it. This is why. And we need to shine a spotlight on mental health. Needs to scream from the rafters. Mental health needs to scream from the rafters. This is why this is occurring in Texas. This is why this is going on right now with Johnny and Amber. Mental health also affects your physical health, and people don't realize that. Mental health can help create things like cancer. Did you know? Oh, absolutely, it was growth for Johnny to let go of her. It wasn't, he may have thought it was about the appearance, but it was something much more spiritually deeper for him. He just didn't know. It was an unconscious level. And furthermore, she had been studying him before she even auditioned for this role. She sent a letter about it, but she had been studying every aspect of him, saying she didn't know him. And Whitney? Honey, the ABUSC went further than pushing and grabbing her. Trust and believe. And her own mother. I saw text from her mother. Her own mother was terrified of her. Amber's own mother was terrified of her. It goes further than that. Strong sources say one of the reasons Amber left Texas was, hey, Virginia Woolf. Strong sources say, allegedly, I'm going to save my butt. Strong sources say one of the reasons that Amber left Texas at 17 was, and the reason why she was soup kitchen and volunteering was, she had gotten in trouble many, many times for drinking alcohol underage and driving. And she was in a wreck, drinking alcohol and driving, which killed her best friend. She survived. So she had her license taken away for 5 years, even though she still drove some. And she did community service. It was supposed to be expunged from her records, so she left to go to California and decided she was going to strip a little, but to be an actress. So this is why she left Texas. And that was one of the big things, that she swore Johnny Depp to secrecy. And that is what you hear her saying. But you weren't supposed to tell anybody. And he has not to this day. Because he said he would not. Allegedly. But there are rumors, and I'm surprised people have, but she just left school, but they say that she was a horror to people when she was in school. You know, I hope there are, and I'm sure there are, because nothing about everybody, I hope, is terrible. And I'm assuming there's nothing completely terrible about her. There has to be a saving grace. And I pray she gets the help she needs. She has a child. I'm praying she gets the help she needs. And I could see today when Johnny Depp was talking about how much he liked Whitney and how he grew to love her and how she was basically the whipping post for her sister and the one that caught it short. you could see how it got to Whitney and how that read to Whitney's spirit, or it got to her, it connected to her. And she didn't react in a way like, that's not true, I'm team sister. You could feel it connected to her. Like she knew he was telling the truth. I mean, I just have to wonder about her, Virginia Woolf. I wonder and pray, and I pray she gets help. I do pray she gets help. I mean, it worries me the worst that she's got a 1-year-old baby. It worries me the worst that she has a 1-year-old baby. And it's probably easy to love that baby now. And as that child gets older is what concerns me the most. When it's not as controllable. Johnny's testimony today was very good, especially before they went on break. I mean, when they were trying to catch him up in things without context, that was disconcerting. I hate it when they try to catch him without context. I did find out the text that Amber's side was trying to mess him up with, it was reversed. The part that he was like, that doesn't even sound like me, was someone texting him. It wasn't something he wrote. So that's why he was like, it doesn't even sound like me. It was someone texting him. Someone verified that today. And it didn't sound like him. I mean, as much as there's been other chaotic text in the past, that did not sound like him. I had to agree about that. So hopefully that'll be clarified, or either they'll just let it go. But when they brought up the photos today, and another attorney, Rumpel of the Bailey, that one of the two attorneys that had gone with the white hair, had already done some work with the photos. But when the forensic guy came up today, yeah, they were incoming texts on TV. When the forensic guy came up today with the metadata on those photos, you know they didn't like that. I mean, they acted frantic about it. Too frantic. Too trying to tear him down. Which does not look good in front of the jury. I know, that forensic guy was the best and super cool on his feet when that Amber's attorney was just trying to glitch him up. He did not. He did not sweat a bead. He just went like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Aw, everyone give love and prayers to Shoeless One Steve in Australia. He just had his knee surgery. His ACL surgery. He finally had it. And he does need rest. Bless his sweetheart. He needs his rest. But yeah. Tomorrow is the last day, it should be, for the jury, before the jury goes out. Because they haven't been having court on Friday. Amber's team only has a little over an hour before the judge says, no more. Oh, and the husky has back surgery. And you remember, you're the Ann I know. You remember my little boy Noah, right? You're the same Ann that I know, right? Sweet dreams, Steve. Do not get up. Do not pass go. Go to sleep. I lost him 4 years ago. Yeah. But anywho, who thinks Johnny is going to ultimately? Yeah, I did. I did readings for you many years ago. Who thinks Johnny is ultimately going to win? Across the board win. Who thinks he's going to win? I think they only have one. Hey, Anna. I think they only have one more witness coming tomorrow, unless they surprise us. I don't know who the witness is, though. I do not know who the witness is. I can't even speculate who the extra witness is. I mean, they had the Hamada witness from the film crew. They've had the Dr.Curry. They've had Kate Moss. They've had TMZ. They had the officer. Yeah, I think he has a really good chance. Like, after all the shenanigans Amber's pulled, I cannot imagine her winning whatsoever. Whatsoever. I just don't want him to say it's a draw. Oh, sandwiches again? No, I don't want to buy it. I don't want a sandwich again. I want tacos. How late's Taco Bell open? I'm hungry. It has to be unanimous. Let's hope it's unanimous for justice, for men, for all people, and for her lies to be done. Yeah, no sandwiches. I had a sandwich last night. Wait. It's too late for me to cook. I can't eat before shows. Before lives. I can't eat before lives. But anyway, this was just a little update on what's been going on. I just feel really like it's Johnny's time. And I feel as though because there's so much love and support behind him, he's not perfect. We all know he has used substances. He's had a lot of trauma behind him. Look, I hope he does, but I like Faith after Casey Anthony and OJ. He's already been smashed in Britain. You know, that one went down the tubers. She got her way. But I feel like it's obvious she was ABUSE. I hate that they didn't let the Australia tapes come out because, he lost Jerry, his bodyguard. He's done a lot of great things. I feel like with all the love and support behind him, I hope it inspires him to, and he may be clean and sober now, I don't know, to ultimately be clean and sober. But he's had to be pretty sober during court, you know? He hasn't been naked wasted during court. And this has been going on for weeks. Maybe he's California wasted. But you haven't seen a real wasted Johnny in these last few weeks. So, I just don't know. Fingers crossed, prayers up for Johnny, prayers and angels down surrounding all the parents in Texas. But it needs to set a precedent. This is bigger than just the Amber and Johnny relationship. That's why you've seen me so tuggy about it. It's more than just about their relationship. A, it's about justice. B, I want her booty kicked. I want Amber canceled as far as the movies. I'm sorry, she's not a good actress. I'm not trying to be shady. She's not a good actress. She's take her money, go somewhere, be a regular mom. Anna Ware says, I think JD's lawyers, oh Lord, Camilla? Are you kidding me? She's going to be a partner. I think JD's lawyers have done an outstanding job. JD has been very credible to me in this. Yes, he has. I'm proud of him. He's not coming out wasted. Amber Heard's quite the opposite. I feel he has been able to speak the truth and be heard and publicly vindicated. Yeah, and he's not coming out all junky and wasted. She, on the other hand, has been I don't want to use the word girlfriend needs help. She needs Dr. Curry. She needs Dr. Curry. She needs a good mental health professional. And I say that very kindly. She needs a good mental health professional. And to love that baby and have a good life. And so does he. He needs a good mental health professional. He needs someone closer to his age that's grounded and loving and kind. And not young enough to be his daughter. What is that, Virginia Woolf? I'm trying to see what those faces are. Tacos for Dana. Yes, tacos for Dana. He needs somebody grounded and healthy, closer to his age. That is very true, Ann Coleman. There are a lot of mentally ill children. I mean, look, sometimes I think we are growing up in such a fast-paced society. Children aren't able to play and run free like they used to. Maybe it's more in the United States. Everybody's like this. They're not using their imaginations enough, doing activities out in the fresh air, using their bodies. On computers too much. You know what I mean? When you're out doing activities and having fun and connecting with people, so much healthier. And the food is so crappy. Not everywhere, but for the most part. So there's going to be more mental illness, I'm afraid. I hope not, but there is. The more fast-paced things are, the less self-care. People need to connect with life and the earth and nature and stuff, at risk of sounding tree huggery. This is truth. People just need to shut down and shut things off more. I've been guilty. I've been glued to my computer for the last 3 weeks with this case. Need to shut down and get close to water. That's a good idea, Ann Coleman. But, we need to have shutdown days. Shutdown days. We need to have holidays that are shutdown days. Girlfriend needs help, yep. Love you too, Anna Guerra. What if everybody just turned off their equipment once a week, once a month, and had nature days? Just got reconnected with life, right? Your animals, your friends, nature's, taking walks, got near the water, disconnected. But anyway, be that as it may, I need a taco, I need a foodo, I need a water something. Sun TV has said, I always bought my kids board games for Christmas, and at the very least made them take long walks outside with me. That is amazing and perfect and wonderful and the best. It is. Some of the best things you can do. I mean, I know she's 20 now, but still. She's 20 and she's beautiful and she's amazing and she's intelligent. But sometimes you feel like, have you emotionally stunted them? I mean, but sometimes the worst thing you can do to your kid is take away their phone. I remember in high school, if I had to take away her phone for a week, you would have thought I murdered her best friend, her dog, cut off her foot, ripped her lip off, whipped her for a month. Serious. Take a phone away for a week. Not like she can't use the landline, right? Take a cell phone away from a kid for a week. You're killing me. But anyway, I appreciate you all for coming. The after gang, after watch gang, I know I need food. Can't think now. The replay gang, please drop your comments below. Even you guys and girls, if there's something that you want to hear about, talk about, come on about, if you want to come up and be part of a panel on occasional, and let's chit chat back and forth about something, laugh about something, be goofy about something, let me know. Drop your comments below. Drop them below. Okay? Just let me know. Yes, and occasionally you can make an appointment with me to do a special session. But drop your comments below and let me know. Okay? I'm always open. Always open. Trust and believe I read all of your comments and I comment back. And please like, subscribe, and share. Help more eyes to get on this channel. Trust me, it vastly helps me, and I greatly appreciate it more than you know. I really do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you'd like to buy a coffee for me, which it really helps because I'm addicted to coffee, you can do so by donating to miracles3@charter.net on PayPal or Cash App, which is, I can't even remember what it is. It's down below at Dear Dana 1111. You don't have to. You never have to. I appreciate and love you anyway. But be that as it may, let's see what happens with Johnny Depp. Fingers crossed, prayers up, and especially, please, prayers to the families of the babies and the teacher in Texas. Seriously. And if we can think of something special to do for them, let's get our heads together and think. I just don't want to throw money at the situation. Not that I don't want to raise money, but I want to do what they need. You know what I'm saying? I know their community's doing something, but I want to do what they need or do it for, in the name of, right? Your huskies are favorite, such beautiful creatures. My godfather had one, never got one myself. Not fair to dog bark. I don't even have enough room for exercise or time to walk. Oh, Anna Guerre's. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm reading a message to somebody else. Oh, thank you so much, Son TV Major. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys, too. Some people are talking about donating money to Children's Hospital in the name of the babies, of the Texas babies, or donating money to the Los Angeles Children's Hospital for Johnny Depp. I don't know. Just thoughts I'm throwing out there. I know I need food. My brain's getting tired. But anyway, again, thank you so much. I love you so much. And remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. I will see everybody on Saturday. And we'll talk about something else. Let me know what you want to talk about. We'll probably have an update maybe on the Depp trial. I don't know. But let's talk about something else. I love you all. Bye, everybody. Good night. And here we go. Bum, 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 bum. If I can find it. Bye. Oh, I can't drive my own channel tonight. Bye, everybody.